What's up, everybody? Dave Bartosiak here with another one of Dave's Daily Dives, where we look at the major macro indexes, major stock market indexes, and whatever else the heck I want to look at, like today, crude oil, maybe even dollar yen, and all sorts of fantastic stuff that's happening in the stock market, equity market, financial markets in general. But not going to stop there. I'm going to give you 5 Zacks Rank #1 strong buys that are on the move, breaking out from new highs. But first, let's dig into this oil chart. Very interesting channel developing here on crude oil. So here you see the run up recently in crude, getting right about to $52 before today's dumping. If I were a betting man, which, well, I kind of am, I'd say we see this commodity channel index roll over, come back down, and crude go from the top of this channel down to the bottom of this channel. So that's below $45 right now is where I believe crude will be heading in the intermediate term. It may take a couple of weeks for that to pan out, but so far I think this is sort of a no-brainer. But that doesn't mean it's not going to reverse, right? Crude is known for reversing, so if it does, I want to give you some areas of potential support here on the way down. We're basically at the 38.2 today. The 23.6% fib retracement puts us just over $50. So if you do see a retrace, expect it to come back up, test that $50 level before we're running out of gas. And then, of course, you got the 50% level right around 48s, 61.8 down at 47 and change on the way down. So I think that's what's going to play out here in crude oil. Important to keep an eye on that. But crude really was the only thing that I saw that was down today. It seems like S&P 500 was up, bonds were up, the NASDAQ was up, a lot of individual stocks I looked at were up. So that was kind of the way that things went today, where everything was up save for a little old crude. And again, you have S&P, the downward channel. They got broken to the upside, gap got filled, found support, and now we are breaking higher. This is, ladies and gentlemen, the breakout. We are elbow deep in it right now. Just a question of how far does it go, really, until it runs out of steam. So some people were playing this fib. If you go from this April low to the all-time highs, come down in 61.8, and then, of course, you'd have to draw an extension. So I'm going to do that here. Looking at these Fibonacci levels, I can add in another price level. Now remember, we're moving in this direction, right? So these positive numbers are down this way. So I'm going to have to use a negative number to show the fib extension here. So negative, in this case, I'm just going to do the negative 50% fib level here. Apply that and look at where that goes. That goes to 24.43. So sort of short-term target based on this retracement to the fib here. 50% extension, 24.43 pretty much on the S&P 500. As for the NASDAQ, for a while there, what did I say? NASDAQ don't care. And let me tell you, NASDAQ, well, it don't care. It just keeps on going higher. A lot of that is because of solid earnings that you see out of these NASDAQ companies. Now, I did the same thing here where I had this fib drawn, but I never gave you this sort of 50% level. So we're going to go ahead and do that again here. Give you, add another one, we'll do a negative 50 here. Apply that, and there you go. So you have sort of 50% level extension at 63.58 here on the NASDAQ. So lots of positivity across the board here. Now, the one area of the market that I think has been struggling when you compare it to the S&P and the NASDAQ, that is the Russell 2000. So the small caps of the Russell, you got to think more domestically inclined stocks. That's why we had the huge rally on the Trump trade. But we are still stuck in consolidation. It has been a long, drawn-out consolidation for stocks inside of the Russell. And I think if you're going to play this game in the Russell, you got to continue betting on it, bouncing back and forth in this range from 1340 to 1420. The trend is your friend until it ends, and that has been the trend and the case there on the Russell. So whole lot of nada going on there, just kind of chopping back and forth. And I did mention one last thing I wanted to touch on was dollar yen. I like to use this for global risk on, risk off situations that developed. And again, here you had a similar situation with lower highs being put in. Now we've got another sort of downward trend channel that's developing here. So we did stall out at a 23.6% retracement, came down to the 50% here, started to find a bid, but now it's below this 38.2 and coming under some pressure. So it's sort of at a point now where I think you're going to bounce around a little bit more on this. Again, these downward channels, I think, is where you're at. If it breaks this downward channel, maybe it chops up again also. I was expecting when it broke this channel that we were going to make a run at the highs and just keep on going, and it didn't. Stalling out at that 23.6. Very interesting to see and an interesting development. Found a bid here, so I think maybe we chop around in here, maybe establish that downward channel here, and we'll know over the course of the next few days. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk about some stocks, shall we? Here is Zacks Rank #1 strong by Pampa Energia. That's right. It's an Argentine electricity company. Now, you wouldn't think that an Argentine electricity company would be in the good graces of our Zacks Rank, but frankly it is, because it's seen a series of earnings estimate revisions to the upside that have been very bullish for the stock. So that's definitely a positive for that stock, ticker PAM. That's Pampa Energia. Okay, nice little run. 50-day moving average all the way down to $56. Now it's breaking out on through to new highs. So you can go ahead and buy this, put your stops below that breakout level, and just hold on for dear life. Speaking of hanging on for dear life, Forza Ferrari. That's right, Ferrari, ticker RACE. And since the IPO, it's been fantastic. Over the course of the last few months, it's getting even better. Their F1 team is in first place right now. Not that that's the reason why the stock is going higher, but they have a lot of special edition cars that are coming out this year. Global demand is very strong, continuing to get strong from the likes of Asia, as those newly minted Chinese billionaires want to get them a piece of this Ferrari pie. Up here at new highs right now, very good money flows. You see the positive money flow since the beginning of May as the accumulation has taken place. So very bullish here on Ferrari, ticker RACE, RACE. If you think Ferraris are fast, you should try a jet plane. Ryanair operates passenger flights, mostly in Ireland and then the UK and around continental Europe. Nice breakout here for Ryanair, up through the double digits. Really, this move started here in late March at the 50-day moving average, caught a bid and hasn't looked back. The commodity channel index is a little bit overbought here, over 100, but it's been that way since that breakout. Right now, you're seeing money flows kind of come a little bit net neutral here. So maybe in terms of chasing, you want to hold your breath a little bit on this one, wait for a little bit of a pullback, but still some really bullish moves there out of Ryanair, ticker RYAAY. Then I've got state national companies. So they do, this is an insurance company. And another situation where you had a sort of an extended consolidation, but the stock broke out from that extended consolidation in May and has caught a very nice bid here. Again, in terms of money flows, been positive since March. Don't look to be letting up. That's confirming the bullish trend that we have here, as evident by the 50-day moving average at 1481. So again, these guys are breaking up from this sort of intraday high tick. I think this is another thing that you can kind of hold on to and ride the breakout. That was state national companies, SNC. Last one I got for you is Waters Corp. So no, they don't make water. But they do manufacture, sell, and service high-performance liquid chromatography, ultra-performance liquid chromatography, and mass spectrometry technology systems and support products. So yes, that's very fancy. So thermal analysis during manufacturing and things like that. We were talking about this a lot. So they're an analytical instrument manufacturer. So instruments, measuring instruments. Real high-tech stuff to aid in manufacturing. When I was talking about a lot, like for chip companies, I drew the parallel to the gold rush, where who made the most money in the gold rush? The guys who sold the picks and axes, right? So manufacturing has been nice, especially sort of specialty manufacturing like this. These guys, a lot of support here at the 50-day moving average in April. Caught a bid there following that, which is very good. Now they're up at new 52-week highs. This trend channel has been established now, so you can go ahead and, I guess in this case, sort of jump on, hope that the breakout continues. But the problem is, chasing a breakout like this, I couldn't give you a really good area for a stop loss on this because there's just so much froth here. So I'd be way more comfortable waiting for this to get a little bit closer to that 50-day moving average before I jumped on board if I didn't already have a position, just because I'm finding a tough time finding a decent stop loss right here. Okay, that's all I got for you folks. Again, if you're not already hooked up with me on Twitter, it's at Bartosiastics. Check me out so that you can hear all the fantastic stuff that I got going on a daily basis. Not just Dave's Daily Dive, but of course we have Zacks Live Trader, Momentum Trader, Home Run Investor, all sorts of fantastic stuff we've got going on a daily basis. So check me out at Bartosiastics on Twitter. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on Dave's Daily Dives, and I will see you all mañana. Have a good one.